But in reality, even though your assistant could be someone who is very experienced, it could still be the case that whatever experience that they brought over from their old job is not actually applicable to you. Hey there, and welcome back to my YouTube channel. Now, my goal at this video is to walk you through the 10 different areas that you really need to focus on when it comes to training your virtual assistant. Now, if this is your first time on my channel, my name is Lai Lacaba. I've been working from home since I was 15 years old and now run an outsourcing company here in the Philippines. And I post videos every Sunday and Thursday on how to work from home and how to have a business from home. So make sure to hit the subscribe button right there so you don't miss any of my videos. Now, when it comes to training your virtual assistant, you should not just assume that they would know instantly what it is that you are trying to get them to do. Now, this video is going to focus on the key areas that you need to kind of look out for and train them on as they start working with you. It is your responsibility as the employer to make sure that both of you are on the same page when it comes to the different skills that they need to be really good on. Now, the first thing that of course you have to focus on when you're training your virtual assistant is their hard skills. So hard skills are basically their graphic skills, their writing skills, their admin skills. These are the tasks that they're actually going to be doing every day, and making sure that you provide them the resource to be able to excel in it or do really well in it. One of the bigger mistakes that I've seen a lot of employers make is they just, again, assume that their assistant knows already what they're supposed to do. But in reality, even though your assistant could be someone who is very experienced, it could still be the case that whatever experience that they brought over from their old job is not actually applicable to you. So it is really important that you take the time to find them the right resources, what you studied, the courses that you went through as you were going through your business, so then they have the same context as you. Now, when it comes to training them on their hard skill, it's basically just making sure that they know what is acceptable and not acceptable in your business, because again, they might have experience, they might have context from other businesses that might not be applicable to you. Training on hard skill is basically just making sure that you give them feedback on the work that they're doing so they know they can align themselves to what it is that you expect from them. Now, the next area that's essential for you to train your assistant in is their communication skills. Now, again, this all goes back to feedback. How do you want to be communicated? Are you someone who is more professional when it comes to your voice as a boss and you want your assistant to match that? Are you someone who wants a little bit more humor or warmth with your assistant? So you want to give them, again, the context of what would be the best ways to communicate with you and how you would also feel that you are listened to. So what I mean by training them in communication skills is it could be giving them books like How to Win Friends and Influence People, where they're given, again, that overview of what it looks like to be a really good communicator. That way you guys have that good back and forth, because one of the biggest pitfalls that I see when it comes to people working online is there's usually a breakdown in communication. That's usually where problems start arising. So by training your assistant on how to communicate with you effectively, you're able to save yourselves from that headache and that heartache of having miscommunication just because you guys don't know how to communicate with each other. Now, what this could look like is you guys setting up, daily syncs or basically calls where you check in on each other at the very start of that work relationship. So you guys have that in that sync. Or it could be that every day they could be just giving you a summary of the things that they are going to be working on, just so you have that context of what output to expect by the end of the day. Next area that you need to train your assistant on, especially if they're going to be handling your clients, your customers, is how to show up. Basically, what is the voice that the company is showing up for? So for example, instead of 2XU, the voice that we focus on is developing the assistants. That's kind of like all our language is towards that, because when we support and develop our assistants, then they're able to support our clients in the best way. So that is for us. So my assistant, who is now also, again, our head of operations, she is slowly getting trained on how to show up when she gets to the point where she's talking to clients. Right now, she's trained up in how to show up for the assistants, which is basically giving them the support, giving them the context and resources that they need to be able to succeed. Training your assistant to show up is basically just training them what the company culture is and what is the output that other people are expecting from your company. That way, again, they have context on how they're posting social media, or how they're answering emails, or if there's someone who's doing calls, they also have the like, this is the mindset that people are expecting from us. This is how I will show up. Next key area that you need to train your virtual assistant on is self-development. Now, you might be wondering why and what is self-development. So self-development is basically just training, at least this is how I define it, training someone to be more self-aware and giving them other tools, mental tools, to be able to get through the day as they work, through their week or month or year. So what I mean by this is basically giving them the opportunity to develop themselves further outside of just work. So it could be giving them training on how to have the right mindset when it comes to handling things. Reading books like Obstacle is the Way or Mindset by Carol Dweck is a good way for you to start getting critical thinkers into your company. Not just another VA, but someone who can think for themselves and decide things, especially when it's like crunch time, when you're having trouble with something or they're having trouble with something. They're able to think things through rather than always bothering or going to you, even though it's something that they can solve themselves. Next key area that you really need to train your virtual assistant in is leadership. Now, even if they're not going to be managing people, they're probably going to be managing projects and you. And of course, most importantly, managing themselves. Giving them the space to be able to learn, okay, this is how I can manage a team, a project. Giving them project management training will really help with their own confidence. Also, when it comes to all of the other things I just talked about, how to show up, how to communicate better, it goes back to how they lead themselves and how they're able to even lead and manage you as a client to make sure that you actually get the things done that you're supposed to get done. Next key area that would be amazing for you to train your assistant in is data gathering. Now, one of the mistakes that I see a lot is that you getting an assistant who doesn't even know that Google is their best friend, where they can get the most information. So you as the business owner, you're probably going to be experimenting or wanting to find better ways to do certain tasks or tools inside your company. So having a virtual assistant who is trained in how to do research, basically on how to filter that research and give you the right ones, give you the right information, is going to be so essential for your business. Now, speaking of, that's the next key area, is being able to train your assistant in data reporting. Now, what I mean by that is after filtering, after giving you, the right information, how do they actually report that to you that you can actually receive in the best way? So it could be that they're presenting it on slides. It could be that they're just talking it through with you. So what I mean by data reporting is giving you the right information at the right time so then you can choose how to act on it. And again, as a business owner, this is so essential if things are moving really fast as you're going through different phases in your business. Next important thing that you need to train your assistant in is how to create standard operating procedures. Now, I already have a whole video on how to create standard operating procedures that you guys can check out right here, but it is so essential that you train your assistant in this so things can happen without you. This is the essential thing about systems, is you are able to step away from your business because you're not the only one who knows how to do a certain task. Having your assistant document their work, document the things that they're doing inside of your business is also going to help you if and when eventually that they will leave the company. Next, and this is kind of a funny one, is training your assistant in being able to create lists or databases, basically. So kind of from earlier where I talked about data gathering, being able to collate all of that and put it in one place where they're making their to-do list on their own, they're creating databases on content that you've posted or you've liked. It could be creating a database of people that you work with, your CRM, so whatever this looks like, but training your assistant that everything needs to be recorded, everything needs to be documented, so then there's something to look back on later on. There's data that you guys can look back on later on. And one of the last and biggest things that you can train your assistant in is entrepreneurship. How to think like you do, is actually giving them other context of why you make certain decisions, of why things are the way that they are right now. That way they can start again making those decisions even when you're not there. One of the biggest things that we have inside of 2XU is we train our assistants to become the second brain to the founder or the business owner. And one of the fastest ways that we do that is by giving them that entrepreneurship training of how do businesses start. How can you think about this certain thing when it pops up in a business? So it's giving them again that context of why, why was this a decision that was made rather than this one? Why A and not B? So kind of that's one way to just kind of start thinking about it, of how can I train my assistant on the concepts that I have learned in the last couple of years, of the mistakes that I have made as an entrepreneur, so then she can get the context of why things are the way that they are. So that is basically it for the list of different areas that you can train your virtual assistant in. And if you guys enjoyed this video, of course, make sure to hit that thumbs up button right there and comment below what are the different areas that I might have missed that is actually essential for your virtual assistant to learn. Now, if you guys still haven't, make sure to hit the subscribe button right there so you don't miss any of our videos every Sunday and Thursday. You guys can check out those two playlists right here and the news videos right here. I hope you guys have an awesome day. Remember that small steps matters, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye!